Hi guys, welcome back to Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at House Flipper. This is one of the many games I play that I would hate doing in real life, but enjoy doing on the computer for some reason. So we've had power washing, we've had lawn mowing, we've had all sorts, and now we're renovating houses. This is... I don't know, it came out in 2018, so it's not really a retro review, but it's also not really a review because it's 5 years old, but I guess we'll go with review for now. I'm doing it now because the sequel is on the horizon. It comes out December 14th, so I will probably be looking at that when it comes out as well, or at least buying it and spending multiple hours. My Steam playtime on this is 79.6 hours. Which is quite a lot. It's not in my top 10 as you would have seen from that particular video, but it's up there. It's pretty high. So House Flipper is kind of what it says. Is you buy houses, you do them up, and you sell them. You also have jobs which you can do to make money, which has sort of doing the same thing, but specifically for a customer that wants specific things done. I've taken footage of both parts of the process in this video, so I'll split that up so you can see it both. The first one, clearing out a horrible, nasty student house, which has been ruined, basically, by the people that live within and seem to only concern themselves with not cleaning. And, and also buying a fire-damaged house and starting to do that up as well. So, yeah, it's what it says on the tin. So you go in, the first thing you do is you clean. So you pick up all the trash that's lying around, and then you clean up all the dirt that's smeared all over everything. Then you do the windows, repair fittings, and then you can like put in whatever you want furniture wise. It's got a really big sort of catalogue of items you can put in. You could put in like a fancy gaming room in the basement or something like that. So it's really versatile in that way. You will also have a sort of panel of potential buyers that tell you what they want, and they sort of move up and down the list as you put stuff in that appeals more to them. For instance, you might have a student kind of guy that wants someplace to study, only wants one bedroom, that sort of thing. Or you might want like a family that wants multiple bedrooms, and obviously as you do the house they will become more or less interested as it becomes viable for them. There is sort of like a mini sort of skill tree on it where you will earn skill points to put into perks as you do certain types of things. So for instance, painting, you can have ones where it stops painting when it's fully painted, otherwise you're just wasting paint if you carry on going. Or you can do like 3 sections of wall rather than just one at the same time, or you can like decrease the usage of paint, stuff like that, which makes things sort of easier and quicker basically. And that goes along for everything. You also have like stuff like tiling, and you can lay flooring. Painting is obviously a thing. You power wash the outside of your house. You do gardening, so you cut the grass. The lawnmower, you do get a lawnmower, but like it's really late game unlockable. So for most of the time, you'll be using a brush cutter, or what we would call in this country a strimmer, to cut the grass and stuff like that. And it works perfectly well, and you can get better ones. So no real bother there. You put in appliances. So you put in, say, a sink, and you have to sort of do all the fittings up and plumb it all in and stuff like that. Some of the more custom ones you don't have to do as much on. It's more like plonk it there and do like put the toilet lid on, for instance, rather than actually plumb the toilet in, which is a bit weird, but okay. And of course you have your home base. Now you can move your home base to a house that you buy if you want to. If you buy and do up a house, you can move it there, or you just have like this little sort of shack, which is in a complete state when you start, and you don't get anything, but like I've cleaned up the garden, the inside of the house, and refitted the inside of the house. So it's just a nicer place to be, really, because you do live there sort of in-game, and you have access to a laptop, which is where you get your jobs from, and you can buy Stuff 4, there's been about 3, I think, DLC for it, none of which I've bought. Let me check. I will double check and make sure I'm not turning porky pies there. Apparently I have the Garden DLC. Oh, and the HGTV DLC. But I do not have Luxury Flipper, Farm Flipper, or House Flipper Pets. All those things would seem to make things rather more difficult. But I mean, I just like the whole flipping houses thing, so I'm not really into farms and pets and, you know, stuff like that. I think the Garden Flipper, it sort of introduced sort of gardening competitions where you can win money and stuff, I guess. I haven't really gone into that because I just tend to stick with... I also have the Apocalypse DLC, apparently. All these things I didn't know. Oh, and the Cyberpunk DLC. Oh, that was free, so was the Apocalypse DLC. But I apparently spent money on the other two, which I do not remember doing. But there we go. Oh, I'm learning new things every day, apparently. So it's one of those really good sort of chill games where you sort of go in a house and it's just covered in shit. There are cockroaches in the game, and you get rid of them with a hoover. If you're not a big fan of cockroaches, like a lot of people aren't, I mean, they're not really a thing in this country, cockroaches, so I don't really have a problem with them. Outside of, like, not wanting them in my house, of course. But you can actually change them into broken glass, so you hoover up the broken glass instead of cockroaches if it, like, triggers you. Which is, you know, a nice thing. It's like the Avengers Wakanda thing where it's like, oh, dude, there's loads of spiders in here. Do you want me to make them into something less spidery for you? Yeah, no, I mean... I mean, at least broken glass is kind of like, yeah, something you might find in a sort of wrecked house. And need to deal with as, you know, you would with cockroaches. Except, like, cockroaches are a bit more... I don't want to say flavorful, but, you know what I mean? It gives it a little bit more flavor to it. So, yeah, it's got a really good dynamic of being able to rearrange furniture as well. Like, if you hold down shift and move the mouse wheel, it will turn it in, like, 90-degree increments relative to the room. So if you want to sort of get things lined up in a corner or something, it's really easy to do like that. You can, like, put chairs actually underneath tables, which is nice, because some games won't let you do that because it's... bleh. And it's just a real nice way of spending some time. It just relaxes me. I come in, I clear up, and then you turn around afterwards and you look at it and it's all nice and clean and ready to go. And you're like, yeah, I did a good job there. Some of the jobs you get, I wouldn't say it's a bit of a story, but there's... definitely like a scenario set, like, oh, I've got my late grand's house and it's so old fashioned, I need to update it. So you go and you knock out a load of walls and get rid of a load of, like, old people ornaments and stuff and sort of fit it a bit more modern. The jobs generally are very specific, so it will show you, like, which walls to take out, where you need to build new ones, exactly what they want in which area of garden, stuff like that. So you have to really sort of dig for it and, like, really conform to their wishes to get a good rating, or just to complete it at all, really, I suppose. It does have a completion thing where you can actually not fully finish a job and still complete it for most of the pay. There's a perk to getting that down lower, but I mean, I don't like that. I can't countenance the fact of, like, just leaving a room in a state when I've done everything else. I'm just like, why would you do that? I'm just going to do this room as well. Sometimes I'll even do the garden, even if the contract's just for the inside of the house. I'll just be like, yeah, this garden looks like shit, let's mow that. And, like, I mean, gardening especially is something I fucking hate in real life. I hate gardening with a passion. I want my garden to be concrete. But my wife likes having a garden. She just doesn't get time to do the gardening, so I mean, I don't do the gardening anyway. It's her. As far as I'm concerned, she wants a nice garden and she can put the work in. I'm the primary breadwinner. I pay the money, so she can do the gardening as far as I'm concerned. Because I fucking hate it. Just cannot stand gardening one little bit. I mean, I would prefer to like walk out the back door and into somewhere that looks nice, but I'm not going to garden it. Fuck that noise. But in this, yeah, I'll do it for free. I'm so weird sometimes. One of the nice things it did introduce over time is previously it would just say, yeah, I want a toilet and in this room and like a sink, and this is where you go. So you go in the catalogue, you look for a toilet, you look for a sink, blah, 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 you buy it, you play it, all done. It's not too bad. But what they've done now is when you go in a room, you can just go into your tablet, which you carry around and do all your like management stuff on and selection, purchasing and all that. And when you're in the room, it will just have the room objectives and there'll be an icon of a toilet and you click on that, it just takes you straight to the toilet for you to buy. So it's nice you don't have to go into the catalogue and actually look for it anymore. That's not a new update, that happened a while ago, but I do remember it being a significant improvement to like quality of life in the game. I don't do very well on the whole selling houses in it, because I tend to like ignore what everybody wants and just do what I like and then sell that. And I usually make a profit, but it's nowhere near as much as I would get, say, if I'd actually paid attention to what people wanted, not just me. Occasionally they align, but not often, to be fair. One other nice thing it does is once you've done a job, it will sort of take comparison photos of what it looked like when you started and what it looks like now, so you can really see the difference that you've made in there, which is again very, very sort of cathartic and pleasing. One thing I will say is the curtains are a little bit jank. Like trying to get a curtain to fit specific windows is a bit of a pain. I usually use blinds because I find they're easier and they cut more daylight, which is right up my alley. So there you go. Another reason I don't like gardening. I have to do it like in the sun. Ugh. I don't like sun. I think it came from like a childhood thing where summers were always miserable because I really used to get bad hay fever. Like my eyes would swell and I'd be having to have eye drops and inhalers and tablets and all sorts. And that was about like, I spent about like 10, 12 years like that, and then it just kind of like petered out and went away. And now I maybe get like a slightly itchy eye when it's really high pollen count, but like nowadays it's not a thing. But it did make me hate summer, like really fucking hate summer. Like not wanting to go out, just shut up inside away from that fucking pollen where my eyes aren't going to bug out my head with like swollen connective tissue. Ugh, nasty shit. So yeah, that explains that. But it's so good. It's one of those games where you can talk about it and I can tell you guys about it, and you're just like, okay. Yeah, it just sounds fucking boring. Painting a wall, fun. Or picking up trash, wow. Scrubbing floors, perhaps. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna like go shoot aliens. That sounds better to me. But like when you're doing it, man, it's just such a nice casual time thing. I will spend like, I'll start playing just for like half an hour and then like go on to something else, and then before you know it, you're like, oh, it's actually 11:30. I should probably consider stopping. So like I don't know what it is, but it's like all the things I hate in real life I love doing in video games. So I'm just super weird. I think we'll just leave it there. So yeah, it's developed by Ethereum. I will see it. Let us see what else they've done. At least that is. They've done quite a few things. Not an excessive amount, but. Most of it's House Flipper and its related sort of DLC and stuff. But they've done like, I think 4 other ones. A couple of VR only ones. And a couple of other ones. And it doesn't look like anything really is particularly popular. So yeah, they've definitely become the House Flipper guys, which is fair enough, because I would imagine it's probably their biggest seller, I would say. Normally can be found on Steam for £21, but it's currently on sale at 70% off. So if you want to get in on it, now's your chance for £6 and 29p. And it has a very positive overall user reviews of 68,954 reviews. So there you go. It's good fun when you get some of the houses that are completely screwed. Like there's one which is basically just a demolished house, so you basically have to build your own house. The amount of flexibility and levels of creativity you can bring in are pretty damn good. And I mean, I prefer refurbishing rather than building, purely because, like, I don't know, like whenever I make a house in The Sims or anything, it's just like a box with a roof and like loads of, like a huge box, huge roof, and just like internal rooms, you know. It's not particularly aesthetically pleasing, and it's not particularly inventive, because that's not where I lie in my talents. I'm very much, it's got a roof and a door, I'm happy. I'll just load it full of computers, it'd be fine. And vampire women in The Sims. Yes, naked vampire women. There we go. That's just me. So House Flipper, as I say, it's on sale right now if you want to go and get it, for £6.29. English prices, obviously. And I would highly recommend it for £6.29. Like I said, I've got almost 80 hours of enjoyment out of it, so even, you know, I probably pay more than the £20.99 it would normally be listed at, because I bought it when it was relatively new. I don't think I bought it at release. Can't remember, but there we go. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. Just a site you can pop on. It's not... I used to have to limit it, because for some reason it would work my old graphics card really hard, and because my old graphics card was a cheap one, well, cheap as a 2080 Super was, probably a cheaper end of the 2080 Supers, let's just say. So it only had 2 fans, and they would crank when it was under load, which is a shame, because the rest of my build was Be Quiet, and was very quiet. As you would expect. And then I just had this incredibly noisy graphics card, and now I have a tough 3080, and it's just got this ginormous cooler on it, and it's pretty much as quiet as everything else in there, so it's a lovely quiet machine now. I have one mechanical hard drive left, and that's the only thing that really makes any noise, especially when you wake it up. That thing makes a hell of a noise. But consider I bought it at the same time as my other one. That's probably going to go sooner rather than later, so I should really look at getting all the stuff I want to keep off of that one, especially as a lot of motorbike stuff is saved there. So it's probably a good idea to move that. Anyway, guys, House Flipper, I love it. Hopefully you guys will check it out. As I say, it's £6.29. It's nice and cheap at the moment. In fact, some of the DLC is more expensive than the base game, so there you go. There are bundles you can buy as well, so which are obviously priced more highly. Like, you've got the Flipper bundle. Let's see what comes in that. This is for £16.85, and we'll give you the game, Garden, HD TV DLC, Luxury DLC, Pets DLC, and Farm DLC for £16.85 with a bundle discount of 15%. If you really want to go whole hog, there's your way of going whole hog. Otherwise, like I say, the base game is less than £7. So, you know, if you just want to try it, fill your boots, I would highly recommend it. I love the game. Anyway, guys, that's all for this week. We will be working on our special secret project in the coming week, so I can't guarantee it will be the next video you see, but we'll try and make it happen. If not, I'll do another video in between, maybe another Elden Ring one, before I forget how to play it again. So, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Take it easy, guys. I'll catch you next time.